Do you have less than 20K, a solid app idea, and no idea where to go next? My name's Cruz, Head of Client Success, and today I'm going to talk to you about the solution to those problems with rapid prototyping. Let's get started. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, okay, so what I need is design and development because I've already got all my funding, I've been through the app development process before, I've built an app, I've launched it, I've tested it, and now I'm doing it again, all over again, and I just need a design and development team, this video isn't for you. Because if you've done that, we need to get on the phone about design and development and getting your app to market as quickly as possible. This video is for people who have an idea, have a little bit of money stashed away, 8 grand to 15 grand, somewhere in that ballpark. You've never built an app before, you're not sure what the next steps are, maybe you've gotten a few quotes, right? But quotes can range anywhere from 2K from an offshore Indian developer to 250K plus, 300K, 500K. It gets ridiculous. People spend all kinds of money on apps and they completely avoid the main point of building an app, which is adding value for your users. And the rapid prototyping phase is the cheapest, highest value-adding way to spend your money early on in the process so that you don't waste your time and your money later on. Let me explain what rapid prototyping is. If you have anywhere from 8 grand to 15 grand, you're not ready to take your app to the next level. You don't have the financial capacity to sink 250 to 50 grand into your app idea yet. Maybe your next step is getting funding, right? Maybe your next step is actually developing the application, but you're not really sure what application you're building yet. This is your first time, right? You need a partner that's going to show you what to do. What you really need is to validate your app in the hands of your users. Let me use a retail store analogy. If you build a retail store, you have customers coming in, you have customers going out. The point is for them to buy the merchandise, right? But if you don't have customers who come into your store and enjoy the experience of being in your store, you're not going to, even if you sell some here and there, it's not going to matter because people aren't going to come in, right? That's what a user is to an app. You need people driving traffic to your application. And the way you figure out how to do that best is by testing it using a rapid prototyping phase. The prototype that we're talking about is a clickable prototype that's fully designed. The rapid aspect, pretty self-explanatory. Get it out the door now. We need to get this idea tested as fast as possible before people lose the value. What is a rapid prototyping phase? You've got discovery. Let's identify what core values of your app are really important. Why are the users using your app? It's a super important question to answer. Maybe you're building an app for your business. Is it internal? Is it external? Maybe you're building an app that's consumer facing. Either way, why are users going to be using your app? What problem does it solve for them? It's a tool. What does this tool help them do in their everyday life? The second thing, design. We want to design your app. We want to put together the wireframe. We want to put together the user flow. How does the user go through your store, your app? We want to put together the wireframes. What's the structure of your app? Where's the content located? We want to go through the graphics. We want to go through building that clickable prototype, something you can interact with, something they can put on their phone and touch and use and give you feedback. One of the most important things here is feedback. Do the users like using your app? What don't they like about it? It's all valuable. Some people think, okay, well, people don't like using my app. I wasted my money. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Wasting your money is spending 75 grand that you don't have on an app that you have no idea people are going to want to use. Using your money wisely is investing it early on, a small portion of it, 8 to 15 grand, small portion of money. You don't even have to use your whole budget. I recommend you don't, as a matter of fact. You use as the smallest amount you possibly can to go through this entire process thoroughly, do it correctly, and get that feedback so that you know exactly what to focus on in your app. You know what not to focus on your app. Users hate this feature. Let's take that out. Users love this feature. Let's include that. Let's say my target demographic, people 25 to 35, millennials, my age group. We need them to enjoy using the app. And based on my testing research, 55% of them loved it. Great, we can use that feedback. That's what's so important about the rapid prototyping phase. Once you've done this, once you have data, you've got feedback about your app, you've got a fully finished design, you did the discovery on what your core value of the app is, you've got something that not only can you build off of, because you're going to need to design your app before you develop it. You're doing this no matter what. If you're building an app, you're doing this no matter what. So let's just get it out of the way now and get feedback on it, right? Get as early a feedback as possible. The development is just putting the brain behind the app. The design and the discovery and the feedback on it is really where you know you've got something good, something special, something you can invest in. This isn't a consumable purchase you're making. You're making an investment in this application. So what we're doing with rapid prototyping, by going through all of this, is giving you something you can use no matter what. Let's say you need investment. Let's say you only have 10 grand to start with. And that's okay. We spend some amount of that building the actual rapid prototype. We get feedback on it. We get testing on it. You do a little bit more iteration. You do another testing phase. Now all of a sudden you've got 80%. You bump this number up to 85% of your target audience with 250 testing users are actually really enjoying it. Fantastic. You're on the right track. What you need to do now with your investors is bring this data and this design prototype that you have, a physical design prototype that you can use, bring it to your investors and say, hey, look guys, this is what I'm working with. This is the feedback I'm getting on it, and this is how much money I need. I need 75 grand for it. You've got substantiation behind that. You can add a return on that investment by understanding how you're going to monetize your app using this 85% out of 250 target demographic user base. You can mathematically put together your pitch. Investors love understanding how they're going to get their money back, and you should too. That's the point of this, right? Even if you don't need investment, you're going to use your own money, and you have your own money, why not get some feedback on it before you sink all of it into the design and development? One more time, if you're already at the point where you're funded, you've tested your idea, you already have these metrics, you're confident that you can move forward, let's get on a call and talk about design and development immediately, because we need to get you to market as fast as possible in order for your idea to survive. But if you haven't been through this process before, I get calls like this all of the time. People with a small budget, they're interested in an app idea. It's been a couple years that they've been thinking about it. And what they need to do is get something created. They want to build something. They're ready for it. And I say, hold on. Before you sink all of your savings, hard-earned money into an app, because it's expensive and you want to build it right. You don't want to spend $2 grand building your app with an offshore developer. Who knows what's going to happen? We get horror stories all the time from that. And you also can't afford to spend 250 grand building an incredibly well-featured app. Why would you want to before you have your feedback? So what you should do is minimize the scope, discover what's most important about your app, design the app. It doesn't have to be an incredible design. It can be pretty minimal, but normally you want the design to be as good as it possibly can, right? You want your users to like the app, and you want to get feedback on it. Number 3, very important. So today, what we talked about is if you have a budget anywhere between 8 to 15 grand, you're not really sure what to do next. You've never built an app before. Maybe you have, but you want to test your idea. The rapid prototype is the best next step. Give us a call. We can talk about what you're looking to build, what your problems are. I'll help you out personally. Just ask for Cruz, and we can get you going on the right direction to building your next dream app. Thank you so much. Best of luck moving forward.